Let me see if there's other questions here before I dive into the brutal resumes. I got like 5 resumes, and I don't know if people watch those. they're pretty they're pretty brutal. So right now I'm just kind of looking for some fun questions I can answer on. Okay, I'm gonna do one more question. Two more. I'll do two more. Two more questions that come from YouTube before I go into my resume stuff here. All right. So the next question is: just found your resume, and I am hooked. Whoa, really? On Joe, just found your channel. I'm sorry, I can't read. Just found your channel, and I am hooked. This man has a serious problem if he's hooked on risk management framework documentation. A serious money problem because you're going to get paid when you do this job. I am glad I found someone I can relate to being a black veteran, getting into cybersecurity. Just started my degree in cybersecurity. Keep putting out great content. Yeah, absolutely, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate the heads up. Always good to see some positivity out there like that. It's really cool. I read this one before, but I want to just share this with everybody. It says, just retired from the military last year, and I didn't realize how much I was taken care of. So I totally agree with you. Okay, he's talking about. I kind of gave a breakdown of my own personal experience getting out of the military, and then struggling when I first got out and everything. He says the six-figure goal really depends on the area you live in and their security clearance. Yeah, that's true. Because if you live on the East Coast, it's pretty easy. Six figures is not a big deal. I know that sounds crazy to some. If you live in Arkansas or Alabama or Mississippi or something, six figures sounds insane. But on the East Coast, six figures is not a big deal at all. I mean, it's not even sometimes not even enough to live. Barely, I wouldn't say barely enough, but it's very expensive in some states. Anyway, for example, I'm in an entry level position, making that 100K or more, and I'm also in a high cost of living area, and I have a clearance. Yes. Uh, we're currently looking to move, so I'm scouting jobs right now, and I realize that I'll have to drop pay if I stay doing the same thing. So I want to keep about the same salary. Well, let me give you a tip on this. I can probably, if you happen to be ever watching this, or anybody happens to be in the same situation that they're moving, let me just kind of enlighten you on what's going on with this current economy, what's going on. And I know this from personal experience. So what you could do is, if you want to make a higher salary, but you're going to live in a place that doesn't pay six figures, you're trying to keep your six figures, what you could do is look for a remote job. So there's tons of organizations that pay, especially now. Now that many jobs are shifting to have the ability to do remote work. Now, if you have a classified job, that is different. Like if you're doing purely classified work and you got to work in a skiff or something, then yeah, that is different. But that said, there are jobs that pay six figures that you work remotely, and you can work in any state you want. Like right now, I work remotely. I could work in Arkansas, Mississippi, Ohio. I could work in all these states that don't have a high cost of living. I could probably even live in another country and with a lower cost of living, right? Which I have considered before. But and that's something that you have to work out with the organization, because some organizations require that you live in CONUS, that's continental United States. So yeah, so just another thing that you could do, having read this, you could just get a remote job that pays six figures and then live wherever you want. That's a lot of people from California are doing, because there's a lot of tech jobs there, but it's just the cost of living, and there's so many people there now, and the people are moving out, like can't afford a place to live there and stuff. So that's just one option for you to consider. And then let me just read the rest of what he says. He says, I need to step up my game, get another certification and apply for mid-level security position. Like I said, one of the things you can consider is actually get that remote position, especially if you're in the government starting to open up to this more. Another thing you can consider is if you're open to travel, that's another way to get that, to retain that 6 figures. If because you'll be traveling a lot. So especially if you're like an assessor and you're hitting up all these places, like you'll be traveling quite 50-60%, but it pays pretty good. I now have a year of experience, and I think I will probably do it, but it's always good to get a certification. But that mid-level somewhere else still wouldn't pay as much. As like I said, the game has changed, and that's a lot of people just don't know. They just don't know. Like they haven't opened up that third eye to other possibilities. Remote work. I've been doing it for quite a while, and now everybody else is starting to kind of, hey, I could work for any state I want. From any state I want. Now that COVID-19 is happening, that's opening up a lot of eyes. All right, so I think I'm gonna switch now to some resumes. It's gonna be brutal. And what I do with the resumes, if you've never seen me do this before, is I look at people's resume and I give suggestions on how they can make it better and make it more marketable, so that they can take that resume and then upload it onto different sites, and then they almost definitely will get more calls after they use my suggestions, or not. Let me see. Before I do that, Chris says, will you do a video on continuous monitoring, how to have a better relationship with the SA security the system assessor, SA security system administrator? Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's a great idea. That's a great idea. Your risk management course helped me gain clarity on preparation for the CAP exam. Wow, I'm glad that helped. I've got another one coming for the CAP exam, but it's not going to be out till like March or April or something. I've been talking about it for a long time, but there's a lot going on with it. So yeah, I've got another one. But I'm glad that it's helping, and there is about 40%, 50% of it can really help. It's very much in line with what you do in the CAP exam. So I took it in 2011, so a long time ago. Wow, I'm old. Okay, so let me see. I'm gonna do some resumes now. Resume time. So yeah, if you don't like boredom, you might want to run for the hills.